Hi there, and welcome to my little cozy corner of the internet. I'm Emily, I am a fantasy artist, and I love to create whimsical worlds full of dragons, enchanted forests, and the magic of nature. I want to take you on a journey today, my journey specifically to how I became the artist that I am today. So grab a cozy drink, and let's get started. When I was a kid, I spent hours with a pencil in my hand and any scrap of paper I could find, doodling, drawing, coloring, recreating my favorite fantasy or movie characters. I have sketchbook after sketchbook filled with Disney characters that I just drew over and over and over again, and I actually taught myself how to paint by watching Bob Ross tutorials. One of my most favorite childhood memories is when I discovered The Hobbit. I think it was probably the first fantasy book I ever read, and I was just entranced with how real this magical world felt to me, even though I had never seen it. And I think that book is probably the thing that sparked the idea to start telling stories and creating those magical worlds through my art. Over the years, my style grew and changed, and I tried out, I think, every medium possible. I have used everything from pencils to markers to acrylic to oil paint. I've found mediums that I love and mediums that I absolutely despise and will not touch at this point in my life. But the one thing stayed the same is that I loved drawing weird things or different things. I liked adding dragons into my landscapes, and they're not always super popular. But when you find the right people, they mean just as much to them as they do to me. So in 2019, I made the jump to start sharing my work online. I was a second semester college student, and I was not having a very good time. I went from living in a very small town where I saw my parents and friends almost every single day to being an hour and a half away from home, and I had maybe one or two people that I knew nearby. I was also living in a dorm. Changed from being an only child to having 40 people share a bathroom with, and it wasn't a great time. I kind of fell into the trap that a lot of us do. We all start out really young in school, coloring, drawing, creating, and then the older we get, for some reason, we take the focus off of that and we stop valuing creativity quite as much. And one night, I remember it was when Walmart was still open 24 hours, which Walmart, if you're seeing this, put it back, okay? There's nothing more magical than going to Walmart at like 2 in the morning. My first time really venturing out in the town that I went to college in by myself, especially after dark, I went to Walmart at like 11 o'clock at night. So I was like, I am having a terrible time. My roommate is gone. I want to paint. That's what I want to do. So I went to my local Walmart. I bought a 3-pack of the little canvas panels and some brushes and a cheap pack of acrylic paint. And I came back and I painted all 3 of those canvases that night. And I felt a lot better by the time that I was done. Very tired, but a lot better. A couple of months went by and I started showing work to people, started posting it on my Facebook, made a TikTok account, and this is right around the time of COVID. And everyone kept telling me you should start a business, you should sell your work, you should do commissions, and I listened. And I didn't exactly get to the point where I'm happy with my business until later, but I am glad that I started when I did. Again, I fell into a trap that a lot of artists fall into, and I started making art that I thought other people wanted to see. I created paintings that I liked but didn't love because I thought that other people would enjoy them. And while a lot of other people did, I didn't feel quite as fulfilled by my art as I did when I was just painting things that I liked. So in 2023, I saw several videos on TikTok talking about how you need to niche down and how you need to really define your audience if you want your business to be successful, and how you have to stop making art for other people because the you that you put into art you make for yourself, that's what connects you to your audience. Thankfully, I listened and I decided that my niche was going to be myself. Whatever I make, the thing that's interesting about it, the thing that's different, is that it was made by me. And in 2023, I really started honing in and focusing in on the fantasy element that I loved adding to my art, and we've grown quite a good bit since then. My favorite paintings to make are landscapes that are inspired by what we see here, by our nature, but then adding in those fantasy elements of, well, what magical creatures would be living in this forest, or what might be living in this little lake that wouldn't
you wouldn't see in everyday life. My main goal with all of my work is to capture that feeling of wonder and that awe that I get from reading fantasy books or watching fantasy movies. Of course, like any journey, it hasn't always been easy. There have been tons of times that I've doubted myself, or I sell my work in a very small town in rural Alabama, so it hasn't always been people's cup of tea. There have been some interesting statements made at in-person events and art fairs, but for every single moment that I doubted myself or someone else doubted me or didn't like my work, I have had so many more meaningful and rewarding moments that vastly outweigh any negativity. And now I am overjoyed to be able to share my work with a community who loves fantasy and art just as much as I do. And I think the little girl who used to sit around drawing her favorite Disney characters would be so pleased to know that she's grown up into a woman with her own business where I sell my own original art, prints, stickers in my Etsy shop. I host a monthly art club with exclusive art for my patrons, and I offer commissions. I think the moral of the story is just to be yourself, and that can feel really scary, but I can honestly tell you the most rewarding thing is making genuine connections and doing something that you love. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching and supporting my art. I would love to hear from all of you in the comments. Tell me about your own artistic journey, where you started, what you're working on now, your favorite projects. If you want to see more of my day-to-day art journey, be sure to follow me on my other social media accounts. And check out my Etsy and Ko-fi shops. Etsy has stickers, prints, originals, bookmarks. Ko-fi has the same thing, but is also the place where I take commission requests. And if you want super top secret behind the scenes details, you can join my Patreon club. Links for everything are in the description below this video. Thanks again for watching, and remember, this is our little magical corner of the internet, so let's keep making it wonderful. Until next time, bye!